In order to stay calm when everything else goes wrong, you got to be intentional. You have to be intentional. You have to choose joy. This whole podcast is about journey to joy. Your journey to joy. It's right there in the phrasing. Choosing joy is a journey. You're not going to just be at the destination just because you chose it. It's a whole journey, and it takes time and it takes work. Welcome to Journey to Joy Live, a podcast to promote wellness, resilience, and inspire joy. Be empowered to balance your mental, physical, financial, aspirational, and social health while providing mental health awareness and breaking down the stigma of mental illness in the Black community. I'm your host, Dr. Int Joy, and I'm here to help you transform life's challenges into opportunities for joy. Let's begin the journey together. All right, we are in episode 87. How to stay calm when everything else goes wrong. Because guess what? Things are going to go wrong. A couple of weeks ago, I was talking about how life be lifing, because that happens. There's going to be some challenges. There's going to be some pitfalls, some stressors, traumas, whether it's big or small, things are going to go wrong. So how can we just stay calm? Are you the type that's just inclined to go 0 to 100 in your anxiety? Are you the type that's going to go 0 to 100 in your anger or in your sadness? The second something happens to you, it's just like, just all the way. You just all the way anxious, all the way stressed, all the way angry. In order to stay calm, I'm just going to start right away. Spoiler alert. In order to stay calm when everything else goes wrong, you got to be intentional. You have to be intentional. You have to choose joy. This whole podcast is about journey to joy. Your journey to joy. It's right there in the phrasing. Choosing joy is a journey. You're not going to just be at the destination just because you chose it. It's a whole journey, and it takes time and it takes work. Once you make the decision, I'm going to choose joy, that decision, there's a lot of things that have to happen after that for you to experience your joy. And you have to choose joy every single day. You have to choose joy every single time something happens. You have to choose joy every single time there's a situation that is testing you and inviting you to be the opposite way. Naturally, especially people who actually have depression, who actually have anxiety, who have a mental illness, naturally, you are inclined to think negatively. You are inclined to think, what's going to happen? But what if this happens? But what if this bad things happens? Or you're inclined to be anxious or to worry about things. But naturally, when your body experiences, or when you experience a situation that's negative or that's wrong, you're going to feel bad. That's the first thing. So when you are choosing joy intentionally, it's about having that self-awareness and recognizing, okay, wait a minute, this situation is inviting me to be angry or inviting me to be anxious or inviting me to be sad. Most instances, it's okay to feel that way, but do you want to stay that way? So the intention comes in at making a decision to say, okay, I realize this situation has happened and it's stressing me out. Do I want to stay that way? No. So what do I need to do to not be that way? So before I give you any type of strategies, you got to make the decision to choose joy and be intentional about not allowing certain situations to allow you to continue to feel that natural response. So if that natural response is anxiety, it's easy to stay that way. It's easy to stay in that worry because it's causing you. Then you're down a slippery slope of more and more anxiety. Now you're not sleeping. Now you're not working. Now you're irritable. Now people don't want to be around you. If something happens and you're naturally feeling that you're sad, it's okay. It's natural for your body to be sad in that situation. It's natural for your body to be angry if something made you angry. But are you going to stay that way? Of course, if we're talking about loss and grief and trauma, of course, experience those things. But do you want to stay that way? You can feel empowered to choose a journey of joy and choose to learn the strategies so that you won't stay that way. Yeah, that thing happened to you. That situation is going on, or maybe it's ongoing. but you can choose to learn the strategies to be okay. Yeah, it's okay to not be okay, but are you gonna not be okay forever? You just wanna just be not okay forever? So be intentional. It sounds all easy. No, it's not easy. It takes work. It takes work. All these therapeutic strategies that I talk about, the self-care, it doesn't come easy, but the more you practice these things, yeah, sure, the more it comes easy. The challenge that you experience is a test. I've mentioned that before. So the strategies that you do each day in order to uplift your wellness, your resilience, your joy is a practice for when that test comes. There's a lot been going on, a lot that's been going on. The political climate is extremely stressful. A lot of people can feel that that's some of the things that's been going wrong. People's shows getting canceled, and we're rallying behind them to support them. Random drones showing up. I still don't know what's going on with that. But in your personal lives, there's stuff going on, right? There might be some financial stressors. Maybe there are some challenges with your child or with your parent or with your spouse, or there's work challenges. Work challenges definitely come up. Maybe you got laid off, or maybe you are thinking about leaving your job. There's usually something that is probably going wrong that you can think about, but it's a matter of how you're going to react. Will you allow yourself to stay in that initial response, to hold on to those automatic thoughts that you have when you first react? So that's the first thing. Be intentional on your journey to joy and realize that it takes work. Now, thinking about the what ifs, our anxiety when we get stressed out about things, our anxiety automatically has us thinking, but what if this goes wrong? But what if that happens? Let's see. I got a comment here. See, I don't always see the Instagram comments. True, not easy. Even when you know better, you can still sometimes get triggered. Yeah. Especially if you're tired and undernourished with the right foods. Correct. Right. So once you are intentional in your journey and you know the right skills and the right coping strategies and things, clearly you're not going to become perfect at these things and at these strategies. Thank you for mentioning that. I was actually speaking with someone who was a psychologist the other day who was going through life, going through things going wrong, going through stressors, right? We all go through these things. And they were saying, literally, they were like, I know all the strategies. I know everything to do. But they were still experiencing stress. They were still experiencing anxiety. So correct. And that goes with your ability to know yourself when you mentioned that, you sometimes you still triggered because you're tired or undernourished. So you have to really think to yourself, okay, is it because I didn't eat yet? Okay, let me eat. Is it because I didn't have enough sleep? Okay, let me get the nap in, or at least maybe if I can't get that nap in right now, at least I know I'm tired and maybe I can readjust how I'm responding to things, or maybe exercise. I've mentioned many, many times that with my self-awareness, I really have to notice, like, is it because I haven't run in a couple of days? Is that what's going on? Because I do feel myself more sensitive to these stresses that are happening when I haven't eaten, because I get hangry, or when I haven't run, or when I'm sleepy. And if it's all three, I am more inclined to choose the running. But have that toolbox, whatever it is for you, when you experience that stressor, what are you gonna go and do? Are you gonna go and make sure you get something to eat? That's first. You notice I said if running is up against napping. If running is up against I'm hungry, I'm gonna eat some food. Unless it's a quick run and then I'll eat after. Ooh. Anyway, it really depends, right? So thank you for that comment. That is so important because even the best of us who know all the strategies can still succumb to it. You're not perfect, but that's why it's about knowing that it's a journey. And on this journey, you are going to experience certain stresses that's going to test you and invite you to get tested in order to be angry and lash out at people. It's a test. It's a test. And once you practice and you have those tools, then it becomes easier. It becomes easier. But maybe when you're triggered, those reactions don't last as long as they used to be or used to last. So I was getting into the what ifs. We Most of us, when something goes wrong, we're like, "Well, what if I fail? What if I can never get that job? What if this happens? What if I get sick? What if I can never get treated? What if the medication doesn't work? What if the side effects get to me and I can't take the medication? What if I get hurt and I can't exercise?" There's all this what ifs. Why are the what ifs always about what if something goes wrong? How about we reverse that? How about, I mean, is there a reverse what if method? How about instead of making your what ifs about what can go wrong, what if things are fine? What if I always go back to the flood? Oh gosh, because when we had 2 floods last year, 2 floods. So that's definitely an example of when things go wrong or went wrong in 2024. And we just paid off that whole bill. It was a huge bill for the household. We just paid it off today. Yay. So anyway, that is my prime example of things going wrong because it's like unexpected. We're clearly talking about unexpected things. So I definitely remember when that first happened, I'm like, "Oh no, what if the insurance doesn't cover it? What if it's gonna cost a lot more than what we ever can pay? What if they don't give us a payment plan? What if the house is so damaged you can't fix?" It was like when you spiral out of control like that, or when you're thinking about the what if is this thing goes wrong, that's just adding to your initial reaction, and now you way over here extremely stressed out, and you can't even plan for a good strategy for how to get through that situation or that unexpected trigger or that unexpected stressor. So, think about that. Next time something goes wrong, do the reverse what if. What if things actually work out? What if it actually isn't as bad as I think? What if I can actually get through this? That makes you feel better when you think about it in the opposite way. And another way that I deal with things that go wrong, I mean, humor. I mean, journey to joy. Joy is about humor. I don't take life too seriously. Going back to the political climate, obviously, I take that stuff seriously, but am I watching TV 24/7? The second I turn the news on or I hear about something new that done happened, I'm just like, ugh. I catch myself feeling a little bit stressed, and I say a little bit because then, hey, I use my strategies. I'm just like, "Look, I just can't I have no control." Do you have control over what's going on in the White House? Probably not. Well, maybe we did when it came to voting. That's a whole whole 'nother thing. When it comes time to voting, hey, we have control. Ooh, that's a whole whole 'nother conversation. But anyhow, if you for me, I'll talk for me. If I feel like I don't have control over the thing that went wrong, or especially if it's a societal thing that went wrong, I'm just like, it just cannot be on my stress list. Because what am I gonna do about it? There's certain things you can do about it. Like when Joy Reid's show got canceled, people were rallying behind her and saying, "Hey, let's all watch the show. Let's get on the Zoom." So there's things you can do. So you can fuel your anger into passion and advocacy. So if there's something you can do about that thing that went wrong or that stressor that you're feeling like potentially you don't have control, maybe there's something you have control. But for the most part, usually there's a lot of societal things going on that you don't have control over. Think about what you do have control over. And going back to the humor thing, it's okay to laugh. When the whole flood was going on in our house, I'm just like, Here we go. Another thing is just happening." Like, "What? Like, what?" Like I said in the Life Be Lifing episode, I mean, I almost expect things to go wrong because that's what's gonna happen, but I also expect things to go right as well. And some people say, "Well, things are just going wrong all the time." Cool. How can you learn from it? Cool. That's a good test. What strategy you gonna use this time to see if that strategy worked? A lot of times, don't take life so seriously. It's okay to laugh. It's okay to have humor. It's okay to joke about things. So, the other strategy, the 5-minute do nothing rule. Oh, okay, okay. Let's say something happens unintentionally, because that's what happens. I mean, you're not gonna expect you don't know it's happening. It's unintentional. It just throws you off guard, whether it's an email you read, You heard something that your boss said, your child dropped a bomb on you, your spouse said something. You don't have to respond right away. Maybe you just need to just do nothing for 5 minutes. Because again, that it's the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight or flight system that kicks in when that stressor activates you. When you're triggered to be angry, when you're triggered to be sad, you're triggered to be anxious and worried. That nervous system, that sympathetic nervous system activates, your heart's pumping, you're breathing really fast. You're not thinking, your thoughts are turned off. You are not thinking. You going straight to just acting on impulse, acting on your emotions. So it's very important to just stop and pause. Stop and pause and try your best not to think about anything. One of the ways to not think about anything or to do nothing is the grounding, engaging your five senses and getting out of your head and just looking and saying, okay, what are five things I see around me? What are four things I can hear? What are three things I can touch? Two things I can smell? One thing I can taste? Engaging your senses can help you get out of your head and just do nothing. Maybe put on a meditation. Lay down, listen to some waves. Oh, that's my favorite. Listening to some waves. Pretending like I'm smelling the beach. Take some deep breaths. Activate some positive affirmations and say, it's going to be all right. And then some gratitude and say, well, I'm just glad I'm here. So when you can activate a pause, some deep breathing, some grounding, some positive affirmations, and gratitude. Woo! All of that together, that is so helpful. I mean, I'm talking about these things because I do these things, and it works. I wouldn't be talking about it if it don't work. But obviously, those things don't always work for everybody. But there are some things that work for you. Just like yoga is just not my thing. It probably could work for me. I just don't do it. But running works for me, so yay. So activate a pause or reset when that thing happens or that thing goes wrong. And maybe sometimes that thing isn't even as bad as you thought. Asking yourself, will this even matter in 5 hours? Will this even matter in 5 days, 5 years? That thing that you're stressing out about or that went wrong? Sometimes we go to conclusions and say, oh my God, it's just so horrible that this happened. It's a matter of reminding yourself that it's okay. This is not gonna last always. It's a song, it's not gonna last always. It's temporary. But in the meantime, that stress, the longer you are living in that sympathetic nervous system, that increased heart rate, the breathing really fast, that is adding to your physical stress, and things are happening in your body. So that stressor is temporary, but you are making something happen in your body that could be permanent. Stress obviously raises blood pressure, causes cardiac heart issues, increases your susceptibility to illnesses. So that is another reason why it's important to be intentional about how you react when you're stressed or when things go wrong. So it's going to happen. Things are going to go wrong, but things are also going to go right. And so, yeah, not everything needs your immediate reaction. So that goes along with that pause and realizing that maybe you can just come back to it. Usually the financial things, that's what I kind of like. I got to come back to that later. I can't respond to that right now because I don't know what it is about stuff in the financial category where I'm just like, I just gotta wait. I gotta go work out, I gotta do something, and then I can go back and deal with it and be good. There was something that happened yesterday. There was somebody who pretty much needed my mental health expertise, and it can be a little difficult because when I am a psychiatrist, my family needs my help as well, right? But that means I'm always on. But that's difficult for me because I don't wanna always be on. I wanna wear my psychiatrist hat when I'm at work. I don't wanna wear it when I'm at home. But I realized that a family member needed me, but I didn't wanna be there. I didn't wanna be present for them. But then I realized that goes back to your self-awareness. I said, "Oh, I haven't eaten lunch yet." I'm because 'cause I'm wanting to be on lunch. This is where I took off my psychiatrist hat. So I said, "Okay, let me eat." I ate just half my sandwich. I was ready to go. So then I was there for that family member who needed me, and then they felt better because I was there. You don't have to react immediately when something goes wrong because something happened to a family member or something goes wrong at work. It is okay for you to chill. What do I need in this moment? Fill your cup. That's what I always say. Fill your cup so that you can be there. So I literally had to fill my body so that I can be there for that person because it was gonna be difficult if I didn't. So I had to recharge my battery. You don't have to react immediately. It's okay to take a pause, be self-aware, be intentional in your journey to joy. And lastly, this is interesting, activate the power of character switching. So I have an example of this, sort of, because really character switching is picturing yourself as someone who can just do it all. So it's kind of like, ooh, Beyonce can perform in front of 3,000 people. I can do it too, pretending that you're that person. Sometimes that can help. But the character switching that I did, so Sunday, I was in a half marathon. And it's just so this isn't a bad thing, but seems like the more races I'm running, the faster I'm getting. So that's good. But what makes it not 100% good is I just wanna have fun. I just wanna run my race and be done. But then when I'm running, I look at my clock and I realize I'm running faster than I anticipated, and I'm just like, "Ooh, I feel good. Maybe I can run faster than my fastest race." So then it's like becomes work. I'm like, "Oh, no." And but I literally was picturing myself at the end of the race, screaming and excited that, yes, I beat my all-time personal record. And that made me run faster. Eventually, I tapped out. I did not beat my all-time personal record, but I did beat my second all-time personal record, so that's cool. I still got a sub 2-hour half, which is great, it's great, so and I even said, a couple weeks ago, "Don't compare yourself to other people, just compare yourself to you." Resilience occurs when you are able to beat yourself, your past self. So I'm just consistently looking at myself. Let's see, I digress. I was talking about character switching and then talking so basically the example I gave is about like envisioning your future, envisioning yourself when that thing isn't wrong or when you've accomplished that goal. So that's one way. You could do the character switching or you can kind of envision yourself out of that problem. That helps. That really helps. When something goes wrong, picture yourself, you have solved that problem. It's gone. Your debt is paid off. You got a new job. That boss is no longer a nuisance or causing you whatever stress that you have, or that child is no longer in jail or no longer getting arrested consistently. Hey, let's face it, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. Of course, there's things that can go wrong that are permanent, right? There's family members who might get a terminal illness. So how do you stay calm in those situations? How do you stay calm when someone dies? Do you really have to stay calm? No. That's what grief is. It's definitely okay to grieve. You can be angry, you can be sad, you can be nothing, you can be numb, you can be worried and scared. But do you wanna be that way for the rest of your life when that person died? Does that person want you they're gone now, but would they have wanted you to live in grief consistently forever, all your days? There's some time frame for everybody as far as, like, how long you gonna let yourself go and take a break, not work, not sleep, and do those things, how long you let yourself grieve. Grief is gonna be there ups and downs throughout your life, but that initial grief where you're just not doing anything, there's a time frame for everybody, but there's a certain point where you say, "Okay, I'm gonna be intentional. Let me get back to life. Let me get back to joy, because this person wouldn't want me to just lose it and be done and not able to keep on going." So that's different. you're not forced to stay calm, when the thing that goes wrong is that someone accidentally died or abruptly died, but eventually you still wanna be intentional about your joy journey so that that long-term grief is not causing your body any harm. There is a point in time where you would want to get professional help if you're continuing to grieve and your relationships are going down the drain, you're not able to sleep, not able to eat, not able to work. Basically, that social occupational impairment. There's a certain point. So, what is your go-to when things go wrong? You have those 5 strategies that you can do. Taking a pause, taking deep breaths, grounding, positive affirmations, gratitude. And then what's your daily self-care routine so that you can prepare for things to go wrong? Since we know that things are gonna go wrong because that's what life does, what's your daily self-care routine? I'm gonna talk about this last. I'm gonna come up with an entire episode about this subject, but it's becoming my favorite new subject. What is sex for you? Is sex self-care or is it a chore? And I posted a reel on TikTok. I knew it was gonna be controversial. Didn't go viral, but I knew it was gonna be controversial. People like, "Stay out my relationship." Basically, I was just like, "Look, why are we using an excuse of being tired to not have sex? If you reframe sex as self-care, then you'll wanna have it, and then it helps your relationship, and then it helps your self-care. Then it's like, oh yay, that's a whole 'nother self-care thing." It's not to say that that's gonna be the fixing your relationship, but it definitely helps when you have a whole 'nother self-care strategy that works for you. But like I said, that is a whole 'nother episode that we gonna have. But going back to what is your daily self-care, whether it's sex or exercise or painting or walking or running or journaling or getting a massage once a week, getting your mani-pedi once a week. My friend, she says she gets a mani-pedi once a week. Okay, cool. If you can budget in a mani-pedi once a week, that's great. I go once a month. Or spending time with family or traveling or having an away retreat or just a retreat at home and you just doing nothing but laying. And I learned yesterday that I need a backup self-care because running is my therapy, my medication, my everything. And yesterday, when the kids were leaving, my husband was about to drive out and my toddler wanted his monster truck from the floor of the car. So I'm reaching way over, bending, trying to get this monster truck. And then I literally was falling out of the car trying to get out, and I had hurt my shin. It had a knot on my shin, like, so quick. I was so scared. I thought my shin broke. 'Cause I run so much, I feel like I have shin splints, so I was like, "Oh, that's a weak portion of my bone." It probably actually broke the shin splint, it probably fractured. So there we go. How to stay calm when things go wrong. I was actually pretty calm, but my head outwardly, I was calm, but inside my head, I suppose I wasn't calm. I was like, "Oh, no, I'm supposed to run another half on Sunday. What if I could never run again? What if it's broken, I can't walk, what am I gonna do?" And then most importantly, running is my medication and therapy. What is gonna be my medication and therapy now? So I was just like, "Oh my goodness, I need something to replace my running." It's not broken. I just iced it for about 10, 15 minutes. I was so mad because I was about to work out, so I had to take a break. I didn't work out. So mad about it. And I was able to run this morning. I was gentle on it, so it's not broken. I'm still gonna run my half on Sunday. So maybe not as fast as usual, but I'm gonna still do it. But yeah, I need a backup. Ooh, I need a backup for my running. There's other things I do, but ooh, that was a scare. So going back to what to do, how to stay calm when everything goes wrong, I reassured myself. I used those positive affirmations. I caught myself in the what ifs because I was like, well, what if I can't run again? What if I was just broken? What if this? And I started to say, okay, It's nothing's wrong. What if it actually isn't broken? I literally actually thought that. I was like, "Well, what if it's not broken? You'll be okay. It hurts now, but it's probably just a bruise. It's alright." So think about that. What are you gonna do next time something goes wrong? What are you gonna do now so that you're prepared next time something goes wrong? How are you gonna train your brain so that you can remain calm when things go wrong? Are you intentional about your journey to joy? If not, make a choice today. It's your choice. Thank you for listening. This has been an Enjoy Life production. If you're in a crisis, don't hesitate. Call, text, or chat 988 for immediate support. Please note, this podcast is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional treatment. If you're looking for therapy or medication management through Enjoy Life, visit www.drenjoylife.com to request a consultation. I accept Aetna for Georgia residents, and out-of-pocket services are available for others. I'm licensed in Georgia, Florida, Michigan, Tennessee, Maryland, Wisconsin, New Hampshire, Illinois, Virginia, and Minnesota. Be sure to grab your copy of the Enjoyno on Amazon for $39.08 to help you on your wellness journey. And remember, Journey to Joy Live is every Thursday at 7 p.m. Thank you for joining me. And until next time, may you continue to transform challenges into joy.